warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, let us say thanks to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala because He has given us mercy and grace, so that we can all gather here in this place. Okay, now back to our weekly presentation, and here we have two presenters. The first one is Ma'am Asmawati, and the second presenter is Desi Ramadhani. Okay, the first one with the title of The Utilization of Artificial Intelligence or AI in Writing Thesis for EFL Postgraduate Students, and to Ma'am Asma.
Oke, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thanks for Rabbi Shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Okay, thanks for your moderator. You have given me a good time to present our mind research today, and thanks for you also to be the audience today. Okay, today I will present all my research under the title about the utilization of artificial intelligence or AI in writing thesis for able postgraduate students. Okay, before we go to the next chapter, in here why I choose this title, because I'm interested of this title is we know now we are being in era digital. Of course, all the person already use the technology, especially in educational. And this is my first reason why I choose this title. And second reason why I choose this title, because I am now being in the object of this research. Okay, the next slide. In the chapter 1 here, there is the introduction. In introduction here, we talk about the problem, or gap, and novelty. Okay, I will explain one by one. My problem, why I want to do this research. This is the first problem. Many persons said that the technology given many disadvantages, especially for the students. And here my first problem, and I don't agree when the people say the technology, especially the AI, give the many disadvantages for the student. So this is the problem I want to do this research. And the second problem here, because I am also the students and I am also use the artificial intelligence technology, especially in the writing thesis. I think the artificial intelligence give the many advantage, especially in our writing. And this is also the mind problem. And the next problem, I want to know how the student implement this artificial intelligence in their writing thesis. And the gap here, because I focus in the postgraduate students, so make the difference between previous study, between my research here, I focus postgraduate students. Why my gap here, the postgraduate students? Because many researchers, they did the research for the graduate students, but little the researcher, they did the research for the postgraduate students. And this is my gap. And the next, my novelty. My novelty here lies in the focus of enable postgraduate students using AI in writing thesis by the postgraduate student in writing their thesis. And the second my objective, I want to explore how the student implement or how the student apply test the 8 tool in their writing thesis. And the next objective here, I want to investigate how the postgraduate students' opinion or their perspective about using of artificial intelligence in their writing thesis. And this is my objective of the study. Okay, next we go in chapter 2. As we know, in chapter 2, we'll talk about review of related literature. Okay, in chapter 2, we must have the grand theory that's relation with our title or with our research. So here I take the 3 grand theory that's relation with my research and with my title of the research. The first my grand theory here, I use the theory by technology acceptance model. This is the theory modification by Venkatesh and Bala at 2021. In here, Venkatesh and Bala said AI-driven personalized learning and user adaptability, emphasizing the importance of AI in educational technology, especially for thesis writing. So, in this theory, talk about that the AI very important, especially for the educational. Why? Because the AI can give the solution or can help the student, especially in writing thesis. So here, the technology from or the concept, the AI that's important, especially for the educational. And the next theory here I use by contractive learning theory. In here, recent study by Anderson and Liu, 2022. In here, Anderson said, focus on AI as a cognitive tool enhancing thesis writing by personalizing and scaffolding learning experience. So in this theory talk about that AI can give the student experience and the student's perspective. So here the contrasting learning theory talk about the student experience and student perspective about the using of artificial intelligence, especially in writing thesis. And the next theory here I use by cell efficiency theory. In here, updated by Lee and Kim, 2023. In here, talk about using AI impact learning outcome, especially English learning. In theory here, that's the cell efficiency theory said that AI technology give the impact learning, especially for English learning. Because here focus on English education student. This is my research statement. And the next, my participant of the research here, because here talk about the writing thesis, of course I choose the last semester. So the last semester here, there are consist of 20 students. So here, my participant, there are 20 students of third semester, the master student from the English Education Department. Why I'm choosing English Educational Department? Because I'm from the English Education Department and get relation with my major. And the next, data collection technique. As we know many data collection technique, but here I only take 2 data collection technique. The firstly, I using by open-ended questionnaire. In here, when I want to collecting the data, I using via Google. So in open-ended questionnaire, I using in collection the data by using via Google. And the next, I use the semi-structured interview. In semi-structured interview, for collection the data, I using by using recorder. And the next, the data analysis technique. The data analysis technique here I using by thematic analysis. Why? Because this is relation with my title and my research question. And the next, the trustworthiness. The trustworthiness here, the function of trustworthiness here, become our research that become valid, accurate, or can be believed. So we must use the trustworthiness here. As we know, the trustworthiness here, there is the triangulation. The triangulation here, the name is the technique how to collecting the data. So, as we know, the triangulation here, there are 4 kinds. The firstly, investor, methodological. There is the data source, also there is the theory. But here I use the methodological triangulation because this is relation with my title and my research question. Okay, I will show you how to make the trustworthiness in our research. Okay, the trustworthiness, this is like this, the table, the schedule of the study. In here, make our research become accurate or valid. So here, because I am not finished yet, because the chapter 4 and the chapter 5 is not finished yet, so I just can make an example like this. The firstly, a profile of the title and beginning the writing process. Here, I start in October 9 and 2024. And the purposely selecting format, I start by October 10, and invitation, the design information and consent agreement, I start from October 12, and writing wall chapter 1 and chapter 3 here, I start from October 5th. And this is the event. And the next, of course, after we do the research, we must have the instruments. Because my data collection technique here, there are 2. The firstly questionnaire instrument. And the firstly open-ended questionnaire, sorry. So this is the example of me how to make the instrument of the data collection technique. Here I using by via Google Form. Because my research question number 1 talk about the technology AI tool. So here in instrument I use Indonesian and also I use the English language. In order it can make the participant easy to question 2. They are consist of 3 also. And the last of my research question, there are 4 questions in the instrument. This is my data collection technique, the first open-ended questionnaire, and the instrument of the semi-structured interview also. I use the Indonesian and English language. This is the example of Indonesian language, and this is the example of English language. In here, there are 12 questions of the semi-structured interview. Okay, maybe look here my explanation about my research, and I go back to the moderator.
Yeah, thanks to Ms. Osmawati and to all your participants. If you have a question, please take your time.
Yeah, put you back to your first slide. The title. Actually, presenters, I want to ask you, do you have any data about the students who always use AI for their writing thesis, and do you make it in your data, or and why do you? The second one, this is focusing on how the how the effect if the students use AI in their writing thesis.
Okay, thanks for your segment. Then I will answer your case in the first question, where I take the data for this reason. Yes. Of course, all the researcher, they must have the text mentor. So I take here from my text mentor, but it makes the difference. We don't take all from our text mentor. We can verification from the text mentor, for example, with the gap. And here the gap the gap here, the postgraduate students, because the previous study, they focus in undergraduate students. So here the gap from the previous study, and I take here from my text mentor. Of course, all the researcher must have a text mentor when they make the research. And the second question, how the effect of the student when they use the artificial intelligence? Because I not finished yet in this research. Of course, I don't know yet about it. But in the fact, because I also the students and I also using the artificial intelligence, here give me many advantages. The specialty here. Of course, in the postgraduate students, it's different with the undergraduate students, especially in writing thesis. Yes. When I start to writing thesis, I confuse how to make thesis and how to make the plagiat is low. So when I use the artificial intelligence, it may give me the advantages and benefits when I use it, because this is based on me. I also the students. But how about the other, I don't know yet about it, because I'm not finished yet in my research. Okay, how about my question, Sir Simon?
Okay, thank you for your answer.
Okay, anything else? Okay, I think enough. Thank you for your attention. Okay, and the next presenter, Miss Desi Ramadhani Nukalut. To Miss Desi, please take your mic.
here, my title is Exploring the Implementation of Communicative Language Teaching in English Learning at Vocational High School. Okay, we move to the background of the study. Here, teaching English in vocational high school has its own challenges. Many students focus more on practical subject and skill related to their chosen majors, so they often see English as less important subjects. However, in today's global jobs market, English communication skills are becoming more and necessary in many types. To address this, English teachers use communicative language teaching as the method to help students see how English can be useful for the student by focusing on real-life communication and practical language use. Okay, next we go to the research problem. So the research problem of my thesis is 3. The first is the gap between the implementation of TLP and the specific need of English language learning in vocational school. Next is challenges in applying communicative approaches across vocational context. And the last is limitation of the TLP model that is integrated with industrial needs. Okay, and then the question of my thesis is 3. The first is how. How is communicative language teaching implemented in English learning at vocational high school? Next, what are the challenges faced by teachers in implementing communicative language teaching in English learning at vocational high school? And the last is how do students respond to implementation of TLP in their class? Okay, next we go to the objective of the research. So the objective of the research of my thesis is 3. The first, to explore how communicative language teaching is implemented in English learning. And the next, to identify the challenges faced by teachers in implementing communicative language teaching in learning at vocational high school, and to examine student response toward the implementation TLP in their English lesson process. Okay, next, the research gap of the thesis is this to seek to fill is the limited understanding of how TLP can be applied effectively in vocational education environment, in contrast to previous research that examine TLP in general education context. And the novelty of the research is the main novelty lies in the exploration of the application of TLP in the specific context of vocational school, which is integrated with the need of Industry 4.0 and hybrid learning. So this research provides a new contribution in increasing the effectiveness of English language learning in vocational school. Okay, and I am here on use theory by David Munan, Z.C. Richards. The main theoretical basis for the research center on TLP theories is TLP emphasizes that the development of communicative competence must focus on communicative proficiency rather than simply mastering grammatical structure. So, in the context of vocational high school, TLP theory is very relevant because it is alignment with the practical need of vocational students, with a play out of real-world communication scenario that will confront students in their work environment. And this theory is supported is an active learning process in the class, where students construct their knowledge through interaction with other students in the school or in the class, and so that it can be applied to vocational education which prioritizes practical education. Okay, the next is methodology. So here I use a I use SMK Al-Fatah Medan, Vocational School of Al-Fatah Medan. And the participant, I use an English teacher and 24 students in class 11. And technique of data collection, I will use is observation, interview, and documentation. Documentation, it's like lesson plan, teaching material, student assignment, and student report from teacher. Maybe that's all from me.
Okay, thanks for Miss Desi and to all our participants. If you have any question about the thesis, please take your time. Okay, to see this, Mary.
Okay, thank you for the chance, Daisy. I just want to give you suggestion for move to the theory, please. First, when you use theory, it will be better if you put the year for the expert. For example, David Nolan and Jack C. Richard in 19 the year, yes. And then I want to ask for this research, which theory that you used for your research? Who is the theory that you used for your research?
Like I use in my PPT, actually I use theory by that and because it's so very good with my title, so I use that and Jacob. But actually here I don't make it. I just explain theory by that and Jacob. I make a calculation of that. I make it here. That is buat bagaimana masyarakat seperti ini just calculation of that and solutions. Maybe I will make it better to make it clear what is state of that human object society.
Yeah, maybe from communicative language teaching based on the human is make the conclusion for them.
Maybe next time I will make it